about close to 10 years of experience in the customer service department, and I've been moving from different companies. And recently, I've been working with a company by name Schneider Electric. It's been 5 years, and the company relocated me to the Hong Kong location. So currently, I'm working in Hong Kong, on a local contract.
Okay.
Now, the reason with why I'm choosing to OBIEE is right now I'm actually partially working on a dual role where I take care of the top executive support along with the global support. We basically deal with the very layman applications like Excel dashboards that I create and generate report for global. However, we have a plan of moving to OBIEE by end of this financial year.
Okay.
So that's one reason I would like to start getting enrolled myself to a bunch of training so I can align myself to the same position.
Okay.
And just to give you a brief history about my family, I'm married with a kid, and it's been 1 year in Hong Kong. Life is good. Yeah, that's all about it.
Great, Shekhar. Thing is, how good you are in Excel and data warehouse concepts?
Well, Excel, I would say I'm, if I give a rating of 1 to 10, I would say about 6 to 7.
Okay, then good.
But I do not have any other applications. I mean, I have seen, bits and pieces of most of the applications available, but not literally worked on them. Okay.
Okay.
So, but I keep myself a good rating on Excel.
Okay. Thing is, let me start my OBIEE session right now. So, as you know that Oracle BI, OBIEE, it is called as OBIEE, and it's called as Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition 11G. So the latest version is 11G, and the stabilized version right now in the market is 11.1.171. Can you please someone else go on mute? It's in a bit there is a bit disturbance. So actually, so for OBIEE, there are few prerequisites that you have to know, and that you have to know. The first one is you need to know that SQL. It's not that you have to know everything about the SQL. It's OBIEE engine who develops the SQL statements or SQL queries. Only thing is, if you want to debug, if you verify that, if you want to see how the data is been coming up, you have to debug using the SQL query. Let us suppose your report has been retrieved some of the records, and the records which are retrieved is not the correct one. So if you want to debug, if you want to verify how the a query is triggered and fired, then you have to have a SQL knowledge. If not, just to debug, you need to have a SQL knowledge. Apart from that, OBIEE engine itself will generate all the SQL, and then OBIEE engine itself will taking care. And the next prerequisites of OBIEE is data warehouse concepts, DWH concepts. So we are going to discuss in detail about the data warehouse concepts in perspective of OBIEE, which will be needful. The first session that I would like to discuss is about the data warehouse concepts, which will be useful for OBIEE. So SQL knowledge you will keep on learning while you are going to develop the reports, and you are going to work on it. So that is that are the two main prerequisites for learning of OBIEE. That is the thing that I have been asking about your background and what is your knowledge on each area. Okay. The first thing that I am going to discuss right now is data warehouse concepts, and in data warehouse concepts, I am going to discuss in detail. So what is data? Any meaningful information is data. What is data? Any meaningful information is data. Either my name is data, your name is data, your address is data, your phone number is data, and your family details is the data. Even the institute name is data. So based on this, when I want to have this all information together, I can write in a notebook, I can write in an Excel, and I can write in any of the database. So all these things, wherever I can write, and then I can keep it safeguard. I can keep it in a safeguard. So then that will be stored, and whenever I want to have that information, I'll go to that notebook or Excel or database. So to retrieve. So to retrieve that information will be stored and retrieved whenever which is been useful. Data is any meaningful information which can be stored at a particular place so that you can retrieve at a later point of time. So for your verification, even your contact details of your friends, relatives, where you can store it and you can retrieve it whenever required. Okay, that is a one thing. And the next thing, that is all about the data. So, and this data will be stored in the database. This data will be stored in the database. So, in data warehouse, this data, let us suppose I do have a business. And all the business. Right now, I have a very small. I opened a small shop where I'll be selling a mobile phones. So when on the very first day of my business, I'm going to sell one or two mobile phones. I'll be writing those information that the sale has happened is two. The sale has happened is for two mobiles, and what is the cost of that cell phone, and what is the profit that I made. All this information. Tomorrow, and my business had grown up, and goodwill has been created, and my business has been grown up, and then I'll be selling around 100 mobiles each day. So can I go ahead and write in a notebook all these things? I can but I want to make it a flexible way so that it will be beneficial for me which will be beneficial for me to easily enter. So what I'll do, I'll buy a computer and I'll open an Excel sheet, and then I'll maintain over there. I'll maintain in that. So tomorrow, and my business is still growing up, and I want to open a branch at a different places in my city. So if I want, I'm going to open a branch at a different in the same city, and I had opened three more branches in addition to the branch that is initially opened. So the total of 4 branches. I want to know what is the sales has happened at each place. So what is the sales has happened at each place? So in that case, what I'm going to do, I want to go to an application where all the sales information will be stored at a particular place, and then it will hit on the database. So sitting at one place, I can go ahead and see that. So what is the sales has happened at a particular branch? What is the sales has happened what is the sales has happened from all the branches? What is the sales has happened from all the branches? So all this information, where does it will get stored? It will get stored in the database. I can retrieve that data from the database easily once it is been available in the database. So that database based on the business size, we can make it as a based on that business size. Can you please hold on a minute? Okay. So here, sorry for the inconvenience. So the data will be stored in the database. So you see, as for the business, the data is used. Do I need to maintain in the database or normal data warehouse? Data warehouse is the place where you will have the lot much data which will be stored. And in this data warehouse, we do have different concepts. We are going to discuss that. So now that is about the data. And what is the data? So here in the perspective of data warehouse, data is of two types. One is transactional data, another one is analytical data. So one is transactional data and another one is analytical data. As the name says, the first one, it's a transaction data. So let us suppose you go to an ATM and you withdraw a certain amount. So that is nothing but a transaction. So analytical, as the name says, it says analyze. Analytical is nothing but analyze. So you are going to analyze the data. Let us suppose you are going to you are going to get a salary of some amount. For that some amount, what is the expenditure that you have spent on your on the total month? You are going to maintain in a sheet. So at the end of the month, you are going to verify all the records and see, so what is the expenditure that I spent unnecessarily, So in order to avoid that, the very next month, you will be verifying that, and then you are going to maintain that. So data is used. Analytical data is used to analyze the data. We are going to explain in detail. We are going to discuss all this in detail. So the first one is I'm going to discuss about the transactional data. So the first one, it says that transactional data is a runtime data or day-to-day data. Transactional data is a runtime data or day-to-day data. So transactional data is used. Let us suppose you go to an ATM. You go to an ATM and then you are going to withdraw. You are going to withdraw some amount. So whenever you are going to withdraw that amount, that you have $10,000 in our account, you are going to withdraw $1,000 in our account. So for that is nothing but a transaction. In that transaction, you'll receive a receipt called as. So what is the amount that you had withdrawn, and what is the total available balance in your account? What is the total available balance in your account? So $1,000 is the amount that you had withdrawn, and $9,000 is the available account, and the $9,000 is the available amount that is been there in the transactional data. So this is useful to store all your transactions. So this data is so in the perspective of bank, this is a transaction data, and this is useful on a day-to-day basis. So let us suppose I want to give another example. You go to a Walmart. In Walmart, you go to Walmart. In Walmart is required for your household utilities. So you are going to pick up that